I am working on a cane, sugar maple. Yeah, it has a beeswax finish on it. And I'm now working the tip down to fit a proper cane tip on there, a no slip cane tip. I had originally carved this for a crutch tip to fit on because that's what I had. And then I went and found a new crutch tip because the old one looked bad. And then even with the new one, I realized it too looked bad. So I think black is definitely the way to go. What's good, Benner? Aquatic, thank you. Appreciate it. What else we got in here? Very cool. I appreciate it. This is going to a very deserving subscriber. Very cool guy. So what I'm doing right now is carving a nice radius on the bottom of this. Not so that it matches the top, but that I'm eliminating any corners that are around here so that even with the tip on, if it does take an impact, there's no corners to chip and start allowing any kind of damage to spread on that tip. And then once I've got that worked around there, I will go back and work the diameter to make sure that the tip fits on there. I don't want it to slip on and off. I want it to have to press on. You know, even though this is made out of wood, I want it to be something reliable, something that can be depended on if needed. Would be terrible if a cane that I carved for somebody, you know, a cane that was meant to help them, actually caused them, you know, that was the reason for them to fall. That would be crazy. Which is why this cane is now maple, and it started off as cherry. I worked magic, and I turned this from cherry into maple. It's a secret spell. But the cherry wood, even though it is tough and hard to break, does have some flex. But this thing, I can't flex it. And I was putting some oomph into it. It's not going to bend. It's not going to break. When I chose this piece of wood, actually, I go about 200 pounds thereabouts. About 191. Those guys are always exaggerating. But what I did is I laid it on the step coming into my door wall, and I stood on this, and I flipped it around, and I checked this end too. I stood on this thing and put nearly 200 pounds on it, and it wasn't bending, it wasn't popping, so I knew this was the stick that was going to become the cane. So even though this is going to be covered, now that I've cut into it and made a, put this radius around here, me just being me, I'm going to go through and get rid of some of these knife marks, make this not look so hacked up. So I will finish this up on this live here. And immediately upon completion, I will try to contact said subscriber and see when is as soon as I can take it to him. Because lucky for him, he's local and won't have to wait on any kind of shipping. Wes, what's happening? What we got here? Skadoob, what's up? Oh, Jim. The old Shane Kane. Legs. You like them legs? They're my Liberty Mutual legs. They're customs. They're customized calves. Yeah, I wish I could take credit for the way my legs look and the way my arms look, but it's unfortunately part of the medical condition I have. Is my muscles are always tight, so when I do something, I should probably put the knife down when doing that. You know, every action I take, I have to, not to whine, but I have to work a little bit harder. Like Kevin Hart is twice as, small as everybody else, so he's got to work twice as hard. So, it's kind of how I feel sometimes, is my muscles are already twice as tight. So when I'm trying to do something, I'm fighting against my muscles, and it's like a constant workout. So I'm like cramped up most of the time. And some days it gets the better of me. Some days I'm able to just work through it. And those are good days. Those are days I'm enjoying. But this is a body that's never seen a gym. So they're not gym muscles. They are just for show, though. Kevin Hart-sized. No, I told you, Wes, you are a giant in my book, man. 100%. For anybody here that doesn't know, Wes is the reason that I started my channel. I said, man, if this dude is this busy and he can do this, I'm just a dude sitting on my couch watching Wes. Man, I should get off this couch and do something. So that's what I did temporarily, and now I'm back on the couch doing something. But that's just till that basement is complete. I do some work down there, but until it is done being cleaned up, it's a little overwhelming seeing all that stuff when I'm trying to work. Makes you feel a little claustrophobic. I'll move you in here. You guys don't want to see me, you want to see what I am doing. So I intentionally left this fat down here, even when I shoved that other cane tip on, just so that I'd have plenty of room to work and bring this down to the size when I finished it like this. You know, I got a box this big and I keep missing it. Good thing I don't play basketball. I think we're still a ways away there. Let's see. Kyle, what's happening? Cane, yes. This is the cane. So that anything that you see that does look like a crack, it has been stabilized with good old Harbor Freight epoxy. Every one of these eyes is polished up nice. Well, the whole cane got a beeswax finish. I've been practicing doing my beeswax finish with just a heat gun and a rag, and let's see, let me show you. And I have been picking these up. These came from Home Goods. You can see the red clearance tags on them. These ones, 100% beeswax. These are from Big Dipper Waxworks, and I got them for $3. They were normally $11.50. I got two of those, and they got two that are quite a bit bigger. And they are normally $13, marked down from $24, and I got them for $5, like a double clearance. So that's where I got my beeswax from, and I actually just melted the beeswax on there with the heat gun, nice even coat, and went through with a microfiber towel and just got to buffing. Something I did not care to do on live. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get to the point where I'm not worried about that kind of stuff, but I didn't think it was going to look right on live. I was limited in the ways I could hold this cane and get the pressure and everything, the friction that I needed to achieve that shine. It just was not going to look right on live. Oh, you know what? I forgot. What is Cameron? He's like, what, 14? So we definitely got a ways to go, but I'm only going to remove just enough that I can get a good press to get this on, because I do not want this loose. And I certainly don't want to use any kind of adhesive on it. I want it to, I mean, hopefully this cane tip lasts quite a while. I got the beefiest one I could. A lot of the other ones, they are not thick from here down. Be careful not to cut it. They, from about here down, they come in like a little radius at the bottom, and they're really thin. Actually, the other ones aren't even as thick as this around here. This is more like it's like a crutch tip style. In fact, it's just like the crutch tip, but it is a 3/4 inch instead of a 1 inch. So when you're cutting something round, small cuts, because it's like a 2-to-1. You know, if I take a millimeter off of this side and I'm trying to keep it round, I've got to take a millimeter off all the way around, which means something that's 12 millimeters, I take a millimeter off, it's going to become 10 millimeters. So you can cut undersides pretty quick. This was much easier using a CNC machine, because I could just say, hey, this is what size it is now, this is what size I want it to be, and then I tell the tool where it's at. This is where you exist in space now. And then I'd let it go, do its thing. But though that was cool, it was not fun like this. I didn't enjoy it like I did. Dang, Nicholas. Man, I love this thing, man. And, you know, the only thing keeping me from wearing the other medallion is that's kind of your thing, man. I ain't going to be stepping on that. But I'll sport this mallet all day long. Actually, when I went to get the cane tip, I had somebody come up and say, "Are you a priest?" So I held it up for them so they could see it is, in fact, not a wooden crucifix. It's a mallet. And then a dude tried to buy it from me. So I chuckled and said, "Have a good day." Because I don't know how much he makes, but he don't make enough to buy this from me. Rocking that bling. Man, this neck piece should make you proud, Wes. You quality work, man. Shit, it makes me proud to have it on my neck. So once I get this to go just on the end here, I will have to, I'm going to have to then come back and start working it down, because I don't want the end of the cane tapered. And this is straight. If you look in there, I don't know if it'll show up, but I go straight into the bottom. Ooh, that's not going to show up. I don't want one tapered, one straight, because if it's on there tightly, it could just start working its way off. And I really don't want that. I don't want the pressing down of the cane being the only thing holding this on. So it's a 3/4 inch cane. I want this round, but just over the 3/4 inch. So I get a press fit. I want it to really press on there nice. Yeah, I tell you, making that last mallet was much more enjoyable, just for the simple fact that I used one of my other mallets to put that thing together. So that made it pretty cool. That was a first for me. I had no mallet, and then I made a mallet, and I used that mallet to make another mallet. Speaking of mallets, did anybody congratulate Wes on his win last night? That mallet was sweet. It even came dressed for the occasion, all decked out in leather mallet wartree. I don't know. It looked good. Okay. Well, I got quite a bit more there I can take off, more than I realized. But this is actually where I need to be careful, because I don't want to get too confident and go undersized. Because the result there would still be a cane, but it would end up being a shorter cane. Because to get the fit that I would want, I would have to trim the end of this back and try again. And I checked with them, and he is the same height as me. Now, how upright he stands, I have no idea. So, the height of this cane may change anyway. Well, we will find out. But if that's what it takes to make it the right stick for him, that is what we will do. Much closer. Make sure I'm not getting too much of a taper. So you're trying to cut something round. Don't try to chase round. Cut a flat. Turn your piece, cut a flat, come back and remove the point that is created in the middle. We'll cut a flat, come over, cut a flat, and then come back and remove what's left. Because if you try chasing round, what you'll do is you'll just keep working this flat up around it, and you'll eventually end up with like a teardrop shape, most likely. Depending on how aggressive you're being, you could end up with just one very flat side. I will most times do like I just did, and I'll take 3 cuts, and then I come back and remove those 2 center pieces. Okay, we're definitely getting close. I think I've actually kind of carved a bit of a flare up on this one side. So what I'm going to do before I carve any more up anywhere else, I'm just going to, catching just that edge. So I'm running it through here flat, and it's not hitting anything, but when I get right to that end, I don't know if you can see those little chips coming off of there. So it's not cutting through here, but when I get right to the end, it's catching that. And this very bottom end, I am going to seal up with a little walnut oil. Actually, I'll probably use mineral oil. Cy at Lions Fixie Shop actually just mentioned to me not long ago, with all the people having nut allergies anymore, which is strange to me, but all these people having nut allergies, you may want to be careful about using nut oils. The first bowl that I did had Rob, what's going on? The first bowl that I did had a nut oil finish on it. It was walnut oil and beeswax. Luckily, I contacted the person who was actually picking that bowl up. Well, that bowl will be delivered to them in September. I will be taking that with me to Connecticut. But I contacted them, and they have no issues with any nut allergies or anything like that. So I'm safe on that bowl, but in the future like that, I'm going to have to be careful, I think. And either wait to finish stuff and give people their choice of finish, or maybe just come right out and ask them, do they have any allergies? But it's confusing to me anyways. I mean, like, if you've got a nut allergy, can you even be around walnut wood? Maybe that's a dumb question, but I'm curious nonetheless. Okay. So now that I'm getting that close, I am being very picky. I want to be intentional about getting these cuts to go from one end all the way through to the other level and come off the piece. I don't want to, when I was curving through like that, from straight to through, it was leaving that lip. So I'm going to actually start with my knife, like you guys can see. I'm going to actually turn my knife rather than starting like this. I'm going to turn it back away from my workpiece some and start it. And I'm still going to do the same action, but start that and then push through. That way, by the time that belly of that gets up to that, it's already out of the wood. I'm not getting that sweep, but it's leaving a no too shiny. I can't show you the light. I am enjoying cutting this hardwood now that I got my blades and the right bevels and everything to work with it. I'm enjoying this, I think, more than the green wood. No doubt it is tougher to work with. It doesn't cut as easy. But you get in my opinion, a much nicer finish. I mean, you can appreciate right off the bat. Your knife comes through and bam, it's shiny. And I'm impatient at times. I mean, sometimes I'm very patient, but I can get impatient. So once in a while, it's nice to say, it's shiny now. I didn't have to do any kind of sanding and finishing. Now I gotta be careful because I did give it a tiny bit of an egg shape there. So now the first thing I'm gonna do, if I can show you guys. And there it looks, I mean, pretty round. But it actually did pick up a bit of an egg shape top to bottom there. I wish it would show up better. So I'm going to remove from here and here first and try to get that rounded out and make sure that's not what's causing this to not fit right now. Because if that is indeed what's causing it to not fit, and I continue to go all the way around this, it's much better. Yeah, we'll do the other side. That may have been what was causing it. So if I just kept trying to chase that around and not stop to check that, now I've got to work this side here round because it's coming up kind of egg shape. Okay. That's going to press on there nice. So I just need to come back to this part here. That's where that's going to bottom out. I need to come back to here and blend this into this tip here. I don't know if you can see the taper in there. I don't know if you can see that gap. No. I gotta fire the camera guy. He's terrible. Oh, check on the chat here. Skadoob. You do good work, Shane, and I like that you're mindful when you work. Well, thank you. Heat it up before you put it on and cool it off. The rubber. So I will have to look up. I want to see if I can see what kind of rubber this is. And make sure that heating is not going to actually have a shrinking effect. That is a good idea. Maybe some boiling water. What we got here? Oh, VLC. Vinny's in here. Vinny, what's good? Thanks for stopping by. Rob Real and Raw. You guys check Rob out. Rob, have you got your woodworking channel? Is that something that's gonna like happen, or you just like having that little page there? You guys go check Rob out. He's got a good channel over there. They do some talking. Talk through some things, understand some things, make sense of some stuff. And maybe you're not making sense of yourself. And he's certified. Oh, what's gonna happen? Just need enough subs. Or are you just waiting to be able to go live with it, or? I mean, because if you are just waiting on 50 subs, man, we'll get you 50 subs. Come on. I think we could probably do that easy. Come on, guys. Let's go help Rob out. Anybody have Rob's woodworking channel they can post up there? Let's get him up and running with that, man. Rob's a big part of this community. Him and Molly. Cool ass dog, man. Just thinking. Was just thinking. I know. Put loud. Well, out loud. Molly. Did you guys, anybody have that they can put up there so people can see Rob's link? Because I am on my phone. There's nothing I can do. We also need to get Miss Jackie some more subs over at Taz River because she's awesome. And there's really no reason why she should have so few subs. You know, people should be watching her. There we go. Ugh. All right. I think it's good height. Doesn't have too much curve. And it doesn't slip. Doesn't slip. So I think he's going to be all right. What's that say? Ugh. Nicely done. Okay, that wore me out. So I am going to get a hold of him and see. Do I have the tip on there all the way? That's not what I'm going to ask him. But I'm going to see if I could possibly take this to him tonight or maybe tomorrow. I've got some things I got to do tomorrow, but maybe I could run this to him. He is just 2 towns south of me. I don't know why I'm pointing. Like you guys know that is south. But I am very happy with that. Makes me a happy guy. And thank you, Benner. Benner is the reason that this tip went on today. You wanted to be a part of this, which I thought was awesome. And I was going to have to wait another week for my check to come in to be able to get another tip for this. So, Benner, you're appreciated, my dude. What does it say here? That would have been bad if it slipped. Yeah, I tell you what, though, man. I probably could have just marked this as like a comedy channel and done pretty well. But I am not in the habit of doing things that I'm not confident in. And, you know, I've got a beeswax finish here, which is not slimy. It's not sticky, but it is grippy. I'm trying to pull my hand across that. If you sat there and did that too much, you're going to burn your hands. Benner's good man for sure, man. Big supporter of all of our community. Everywhere I look, that guy's there, man. Guy's there doing something cool, saying something zany. Zany. It's another one of them good Scooby-Doo words. So, guys, beeswax finish. Cheap. I was looking at the prices of beeswax on the internet, I mean, for $8, I've got. I mean, there was another one of these, but for $8, that's a big old chunk of beeswax for $8. So keep your eye out. Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. I'm trying to think of what else. There's one called At Home. You got any of those stores by you? Go look at the Joseph. Hi there. Hey, Wes. I want to get one of your products soon. Welcome in, Joseph. Just the man I wanted to talk to. How do you do that? I think his ears are burning. Joseph, are you going to be available later this evening or possibly tomorrow midday? Possibly tomorrow. Well, hit me up and let me know, because I would like to bring this by and drop it off to you, my man. If it's something you would like to have. You weren't here, so I will show you. You said you were 5'10". I too am 5'10", and this is where it sits here on me. I am quite close to Joseph, yes. It was sounding that way, Joseph. So that's what got me thinking and got me out to the woodpile there. So this is, I mean, this is, it's not gonna break. Beard, did I tell you that your beard is impressive? Well, thank you. Thank you. I grew up myself. Cousin Vinny's road trip bucket list. Yeah, he is he's right over there over my fence, right over there somewhere. Oh, I'm just dancing with the phone stand. Oh, you know what, you guys, I want to show you. I'm so proud of this. So my wife, she knows I like plants. Let me turn it around. She knows I like plants, and she bought me these plants. They were all dead. So the store thought they were clearanced out cheap, and I was able to bring them all back. But the one I'm proudest of was the one that came to me with one leaf on it, and I was able to turn into that. Nice 5.5 foot tall bird of paradise. All gray. What's that? What are we talking about here? Wish my beard was all one color. So, I can tell you my secret. No kids. Okay. Well, so I think I'm going to be starting some. Let me grab them. I know I'm up and down, guys. I'm sorry. Let me grab the saw blades I wanted to show you. Because they don't make saw blades like this anymore. I got these for $5. Local guy was selling them. He said, yeah, my dad had them in the garage. His dad had these. Yep. Yeah, I should probably put something on that right away. So his dad had these sharpened almost 40 years ago, and they've been sitting in the garage. And his dad is no longer with us. Oh, that one I've actually already got started a little pattern on. But old school Oldham blade. Yeah, they'll show up. But yeah, they're old school Oldhams. But these, this one is probably going to be no good because it's got that big center piece in there. So that's probably going to get turned into tools. But I mean, look at that. Old chrome edge. Yeah, maybe shouldn't put that old random phone number on. But it's just cool. Still having that old ass box on there. Well, they don't make blades like that anymore. Not that I see. Everything now has got these carbide tips. And there used to be a lot of places around here that sharpen saw blades. And when this guy sold these to me, they had a tag around them. And this man paid $8 to have these bigger blades sharpened. And he paid $5 to have the smaller blades sharpened. And then I paid $5 for all the blades. So I got me some knife making material. So I'm going to get going on that. But what I'm finding is with woodworking tools in this area, I don't know if I'm showing too much excitement or what. But I found well, several tools, you know, that I wanted to get. I found a drill press, and they had it marked for $40. And I showed up. I thanked them for such a good price, and they said, "Oh no, it was supposed to be $60." So I passed on it. I then found a wood lathe that they had on there, $150, and it came with, I mean, a whole rack full of tools, different gouges and chisels, and a stand. But that was out in Elginak, and when I called to set things up, after they said yes, it's available, I called to set things up. It was a marketplace find. All of a sudden, the lady wants $300. So I don't know what's up with that. But I will. I'll piece something together one day. I think before I spend $300 on a mystery lathe that I don't know what it's been through or how much life is left in it, and I'd go put that down on a brand new Bauer 14x20 or something, which is way out of the question right now. But yeah, I can't see spending even close to $300 on a used tool that could have possibly been abused. I mean, maybe if it was from somebody that I knew that has maintained their stuff, somebody I know that takes pride in ownership. But there is a lot that I find on the marketplace that has no business even being sold. They say, "Oh yeah, it runs great," but then they show you the motor's in a box and the cord has been chewed by rats or something. It's not even put together. So it's like, well, if there's no motor, how do you know it runs? But that's the lack of integrity that you find in many people in the world today. But I won't get on a rant about integrity. It doesn't change anything. So I'm going to take my badass necklace. I'm going to get me something to eat because I've once again made it to 5 o'clock and haven't eaten today. So I got to make better decisions there. So, guys, thanks for checking me out. Thanks for spending your time with me. Joseph, give me a call. Let me know what you want to do with this. I'm in no rush. I'm certainly excited to give it to you, but if this weekend doesn't work, let me know. We'll find a way to get it to you. Benner, man, thanks. You came through, bud. I appreciate that. So, everyone, I appreciate you. Have a good one.